Top 10 Richest NBA Players of All Time. It's not a hidden fact that NBA players are earning a lot of money as professional basketball players. Their income does not only come from their salary as an NBA player, but also brand partnerships and sponsorship, and even their line of brands. Players even get to make money from video games developed under the NBA franchise, with their likeness used in the game. With so many means of income possibilities for an NBA player, many people are asking the question, which players are the wealthiest in the history of the NBA? And if you are among these people asking this question, then today is your day, because today we're going to talk about the 10 richest players of NBA history. Number 10. Grant Hill. For all the what-ifs surrounding how Hill's career would be viewed if he didn't deal with so many injuries in his late 20s, he still hung around in the NBA for nearly 2 decades and was elected to the Hall of Fame in 2018. The number 3 overall pick in the 1994 draft made more than $140 million as a player and is now a part owner of the Atlanta Hawks. Grant Hill made nearly around $143 million during his time at the Pistons, Magics, Suns, and Clippers. His most considerable NBA remuneration was in the year 2006-2007, earning up to $16.9 million by the Magic. He made excellent investment choices instead of the NBA, and TV profits, which profited him largely. In 2018, he endorsed a career contract with Fila that earns him around $10 million a year. Grant owns a private company, which is known as Hill Ventures, which devotes to real estate challenges, making him worth over $200 million. Number 9. HAKEEM OLAJUWAN. Number 9 on the list of richest basketball players in the world is HAKEEM OLAJUWAN, who started his career way back in 1984. He played for the Houston Rockets until 2002. He has led quite a career and has a net worth of $250 million for his outstanding skill and talent in the game. The Dream made nearly $100 million during his illustrious playing career. Additionally, he had an endorsement deal with Spalding, one though that wasn't as lucrative as it potentially could have been, because OLAJUWAN wanted his shoes to be available to lower and middle-class kids. A 2-time NBA champion and Hall of Famer, OLAJUWAN's wealth has grown steadily since his retirement after the 2001-2002 campaign. Number 8. David Robinson. David Robinson, the Admiral, is a retired NBA player from Key West, Florida. He spent his basketball career playing for the San Antonio Spurs. Robinson was picked up by the team in the first round in 1987 and is considered to be the best center in NBA history. The Hall of Famer earned around $118 million during his 19-year-old career in the NBA. His maximum remuneration would have been $14.8 million in 1998-1999, which is very low compared to the latest NBA levels. But even so, David, being a very brainy businessman, one of the wealthiest NBA players, made it a more booming one. He started a fruitful private equity fund named Admiral Capital, which has increased $115 million after the release. The company got $350 million of real estate assets in the upcoming future. Then he concluded by opening another fund in 2015 with a plan of raising funds to around $175 million. His net worth is around $350 million. Number 7. Vinnie Johnson. While you may have a hard time remembering this player because he was the 6th man in the 1980s Detroit Pistons team, make no mistake, Johnson, affectionately referred to as the Microwave, had a pretty impressive playing career, winning 2 championships with the Detroit Pistons. However, he's an example of someone on this list that made significantly more money after his playing career concluded. Johnson made a few $1 million during his 13-year NBA career, but the overwhelming majority of his wealth comes from being the owner of Piston Group, which bills itself as the world's largest value-add assembly supplier. Today, Johnson's Piston Group's customer list includes the Big 3 in Detroit, as well as Toyota, Honda, and Nissan. Johnson is the Piston Group's chairman and CEO. Under his leadership, the company has expanded from one location in Detroit to several across the Midwest, including Michigan, Ohio, Missouri, and Kentucky. Today, the Piston Group does nearly $3 billion in annual revenue and has given Johnson, who earned around $5 million total in 12 seasons in the NBA, a net worth of $400 million. Number 6. Shaquille O'Neal. One of the best centers in pro NBA history, Shaquille O'Neal made his presence on the Forbes list just as he performed in his NBA's rookie year. As of 2021, Shaquille O'Neal's net worth is estimated to be roughly $500 million. There's a decent chance if you asked Shaq to film a commercial with you in your basement, he'd come, so long as he left with a worthwhile amount of money. One of the most dominant big men in NBA history, O'Neal made more than $285 million as a player and has found quite a lot of post-career success. Shaq can currently be seen in ads for the General and Gold Bond, but has also been part of endorsements with Burger King, Pepsi, and Reebok, among others. It's also fair to assume that O'Neal commands a pretty hefty salary for his work on TBS's Inside the NBA. Number 5. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, the highest-paid NBA player, was arguably one of the best players of all time, a true legend on and off the court who left us all too soon. The late Kobe Bryant had a total net worth of $600 million before his untimely and tragic death last year. His career spanned 20 years, and his career salaries, along with his business ventures and sponsorships, earned him an impressive $260 million. Most of his earnings came from the major endorsements that he did for big brands like McDonald's, Nutella, Mercedes-Benz, and big sporting brands like Nike and Adidas. Number 4. LeBron James. King James may only be in the top 5 of the list, but considering the long line of players and the long history of the NBA, being at the 4th in the list of the richest players of all time is not a bad thing to be in at all. He gained around a maximum of $92 million in a matter of a year before October 2019, adding an amount of $55 million in endorsement contracts, conform to Forbes. LeBron James has a massive portfolio of endorsement contracts. Furthermore, he is also one of the rare athletes to have achieved a career deal from Nike. The contract is valued at around $1 billion above its time, described in many disclosures. Instead of Nike, James has many agreements with firms and brands like Sprite, Walmart, Kia Motors, and Beats headphones. By this time, he has been reimbursed $300 million and is still to get above $80 million on his existing deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. He used an enormous amount of his income in his business plans, holding up to 19 Blaze Pizza patents, and a small holder in the English soccer club Liverpool. The approximated net worth of LeBron James is around $600 million. Number 3. Magic Johnson. When you have a nickname like Magic, you have to be pretty talented at what you do. Thankfully for everyone who had the pleasure of seeing him play, Magic Johnson was an incredibly talented and successful basketball player with 3 league MVPs and a final MVP award to his name. Magic Johnson's success wasn't limited to the hardwood, though. The LA Lakers legend has also proved to be a pretty big winner when it comes to the business world. According to Basketball References numbers, Johnson earned $24 million in salary during his NBA career. That money, however, is only a fraction of his overall fortune. After he left basketball behind, the guard started Magic Johnson Enterprises. He's since gotten involved with movie theaters, Starbucks, and various chain restaurants. Johnson himself also broke into sports ownership, buying the Lakers, Sparks, and Dodgers at various points. In total, Johnson's net worth is estimated at roughly $650 million. That's nothing to sneeze at, especially 2 decades after leaving the hardwood. Number 2. Junior Bridgeman. While this name will sound unfamiliar to most NBA fans, he is a true MVP when it comes to making money. In 1985, Bridgeman was at his peak salary, which was $350,000 during the time he played for the Los Angeles Clippers. It was enough money to live a good life, but not enough to stop caring about post-career. Bridgeman was studying the Wendy's franchise business and even spent a lot of time working at a local Wendy's to learn more about the company. What a sight to see! A local NBA player working at your local Wendy's. During his active career, Junior built and opened up Wendy's restaurants, and by the end of his career, he had already opened 3. After his NBA retirement, he went all in, and is now Wendy's largest franchise owner, holding ownership of over 160 restaurants. On top of all the Wendy's restaurants he owns, he also owns an additional 120 Chili's restaurants across the United States. He has become a very wealthy man due to his smart investments. Today, his net worth is estimated to be around $700 million. With so many NBA players going broke 10 years after retiring, this is a perfect story on how to counter that from happening. Number 1. Michael Jordan. If you don't know who Michael Jordan is, you haven't paid attention to much around you. The name Michael Jordan is all around, from basketball to television, movies, clothing, and shoes. He is the most popular name in NBA history and sits at the top of the list for being the wealthiest player of all time, with a staggering net worth of over $2 billion. Since he retired in 2003, he has built the most successful and lucrative career anyone has ever seen from a former athlete. While he made less than $100 million during his career as the NBA's greatest player of all time, he made millions by endorsing big brands, most notably the Nike Jordans, which have earned MJ a fortune. Jordan also has sponsorship deals with Hanes, Gatorade, and Upper Deck's 16 years post-retirement, according to Forbes. Thanks to these endorsements, Jordan still makes more money than LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, or any other active player. MJ also owns 97% equity of the NBA team Charlotte Hornets, which is valued at around $1.5 billion. Aside from all of these, MJ is also known to have investments in the industry of real estate, yachts, supercars, mansions, and even private jets. All in all, we say that MJ is the Hall of Famer on and off the court. Let me know in the comments below about the players from today's generation who you believe will be worth billions in the future.